After the Second World War, Picasso became very involved in the peace movement. And what was the peace movement? Well, it was largely something which he was talked into by his friends Éluard and Aragon, who'd been very much involved in the surrealistic movement in earlier periods. And they were his very good friends on intellectual, spiritual and poetical level, and all of them were very upset by the terrible carnage of the Second World War. Picasso perceived that communism was a way out, and he perceived that the peace movement was an arm of communism, which was something which would help to develop this particular idea. He considered that men and women could avoid war and the terrible tremors of war by becoming involved in a greater belief in peace and stability. And this meant people of goodwill getting together, discussing what the terrible things which had happened, and making a resolution that it shouldn't happen again. Picasso became very involved in a financial, intellectual, and artistic way within this particular cause. Things like the scarves, which you see in the museum, were sold to create money for the peace movement. He did numerous prints, which were sold for the same thing. He was one of the greatest benefactors of the Communist Party in the world at the time, unbeknown to most people. He put huge trouble, huge effort into the thing. But what happened? Well, we all of us know that communism didn't actually deliver what it was supposed to deliver. The biggest trauma came in '56 when you had the problems in Hungary. And there was a huge feeling of revulsion against communism when the uprisings took place. And a lot of people rebelled and complained against Picasso when this was happening. And with certain justification, because the whole consensus of worldview came to the point of view that the forces of communism were not perhaps all they were actually cut out to be. What was Picasso's reaction? Well, he didn't actually publicly state anything. What he did was he scaled down his participation from an international level to a local level, and he increased his participation in the peace movement, and he reduced his participation in the communist movement. Many people have criticized him. Many people have said that he took a very bad political stance, and yet, frankly, his heart was in the right place. Maybe he shouldn't have been a communist, but certainly as a prominent artist, he ought to have been and was a person who tried to promote peace, humanity, and goodwill towards men.